Hey guys, so today we have my May project pan update. I believe this is our 4th update plus the intro, so this is the 5th video in this year's project pan series. I will link the whole playlist down below, but this is my year-long rolling project 10 pan, so I've got 10 products that I've been working on, and each time I use up a product, I roll something new in. Once again, this is the 2nd month in a row. I don't have any empties this month. I did have a huge, really exciting update 2 months ago where I had like 4 empties, I think. Usually following a really exciting month like that, we've got a few slow months, but I do think next month we will have a couple more empties. So won't be rolling any new products in this time around, but I still have made some really good progress on all of these items that I'm excited to share with you. So, quick announcement before we get into it. I just wanted to say something quickly about what is happening in India right now. They are experiencing a massive surge in COVID cases. In case you haven't heard, it is absolutely horrific, and I am planning on donating all of the AdSense money from this video to Give India. They are a nonprofit that's fundraising for COVID relief, oxygen supplies, things like that. So I'll be donating all the AdSense money from this video, and also I'm going to match whatever amount that is with my own money. So, you know, if you can, please watch the ads all the way through. And if you're able to donate as well, I really encourage you to do so. I'll list some resources and places to donate down below. So with that all being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. The first product I've been working on is the NYX Angel Veil Primer. This has been a slow one. I have been using it a lot. I used it 16 times in April. So, you know, I'm using it, I promise. I used it today. But really just tiny little bits of progress each month. It still feels like there's a lot in there. I think it's just because this is a primer that it's sort of like a smoothing primer, so I mainly just use it on like the, you know, T-zone areas where I've got more prominent pores. And it's not, you know, it's not like a hydrating primer that I put all over my face, almost like a moisturizer. So that's probably why progress is a bit slower on this one, but I do hope to get this finished at some point this year, but I have a feeling this will probably be sticking around for most of the year. So this one I actually thought I might be able to have done in this update, but I didn't quite get there. This is the Pacifica Alight Clean Foundation. I think last month I said I was pretty sure it would be done this update, but I wasn't able to make quite as much progress this month as I did last month, but you can see I really don't have much left. Throughout April, I was using a little bit less foundation. I was going foundation free some days because I did start tretinoin this month, and so my skin has been, you know, peeling a little bit. So I've been trying to use less foundation, so that's why I didn't make as much progress this month. But I think now that my skin's getting more used to it, I'll be able to use foundation more often, and I definitely think that this will be finished in my June update. I cannot believe we're already almost halfway through 2021. This year's going by so fast. This will be the 2nd foundation empty of the year, which is really exciting because last year I think I only had 1 foundation empty for the entire year, but this year I'm just speeding through my foundations. All right, next we have a powder that I rolled in March, and this is going really quickly. This is the e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder. It is a small amount of powder that you get in here, so I've been kind of flying through this, but I did repress this month, kind of in the earlier part of the month, because in my last update, if you remember, there was really just like a pretty small ring around the edges. Typically what happens is I repress something and then it looks like I haven't made any progress for like a month, and then within the next couple of weeks it's done. That's typically how it goes. So I have a feeling this will also be finished in my next update because, I mean, it is a really, really thin circle of product sitting in the pan right now. So I don't think this will take too much longer. By the way, I do have a video that I posted, I think back in December, it was like during Vlogmas, but it's all of my best project pan tips. All of those tips are still relevant, so I will link that below in case you haven't seen it yet. Next product is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Humongous concealer. I have stopped drawing lines on here just because it's so hard to measure exactly where I am, but it does look like there's kind of a lighter line where I think it has settled right about here, like really close to the bottom, but I also know that there's a lot of concealer just coating the sides of this, so it's very hard to measure exactly how much is in there. So I'm just gonna keep using it. It feels light, you know, it doesn't feel like there's that much in here, but I just knowing, yeah, I've seen other people pan these. I know it takes a long time, so I'm not expecting to be finished with this anytime soon, even though I've been using it almost every single day. Some people have suggested using it as a foundation, which I haven't tried yet just because I'm trying to pan this foundation, and I don't know, I just have a lot of foundations that I also want to use, so I don't really want to use my concealer as a foundation, but I may try that. Yeah, I don't think I'm anywhere near needing to take the stopper out though, because every time I remove the applicator, there's a ton of concealer on there. So any guesses as to when this will be finished? I'd be curious to hear when you guys think that I can have this done. Been working on it since the start of the year, and it was like half full at the beginning of the year. I don't know, leave your guesses down below. I'm curious what you guys think, especially if you've used it up yourself in a project pan. All right, so next for this e.l.f. long-lasting lustrous eye, no, that's not what this is called. I am forever scarred by that long-lasting lustrous eyeshadow from e.l.f. that I did pan last year. I was working on that for so many months. This is not the long-lasting lustrous eyeshadow. This is the smooth matte eyeshadow in soft beige. This I've been using as a bronzer. I hardly ever use it as an eyeshadow. So this is going really well. I have been scraping and scraping at the sides, and today I actually did go ahead and remove the stopper because it was just, I mean, there was hardly anything coming out on the applicator anymore. So, you know, of course, now that I've done that, I'm sure I have at least another couple months to continue using this. But yeah, I feel like this is going pretty well. I really enjoy this as a bronzer. I am picky about bronzers. The undertone has to be just right. This one, even though it looks pretty warm in there, it has a nice, like, almost rosy red undertone, and so it works really well. It looks really natural on my skin tone as a bronzer, so I've really been enjoying it for that. Wearing that today, in addition to the Franken bronzer that I made last month. Next, I've got this ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Sailor. This has gotten very crumbly. I did revive it with actually eye drops, just like one eye drop actually in there, and that did help me at least get more color payoff, but it is still very dry and crumbly, so I'm thinking I may try another method, either maybe with a silicone primer or maybe with an oil, just because it's gotten quite flaky, but I'm still able to use it just fine, and this is the main eyeshadow that I have on my eyes right now. It's such a beautiful color. I did hit pan on this last month. This is one of the 2 products that I did not meet my usage goal on in April. I only used it 6 times, and I was hoping to use it 8 times, but that's fine. My goal is to use it 25 times total in this project pan, and then I'll roll something new in. And so far, I have used it 14 times. I set the goal to use it 5 times in May. Hopefully I can use it more, but just knowing me, it's hard for me to use the same eyeshadow more than that many times in a month, just because I love switching up my eyeshadows. But the main way that I use this is as a inner corner highlight, although today I have it all over my lid. So if you remember last month, I made a Franken bronzer out of the 4 eyeshadows from the Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells quad, because I had just gotten tired of using those as eyeshadows. One of you guys actually suggested that I do that, and I did. So this is what it looks like. I did create a YouTube short showing how I did it, so I'll link that below if you want to see that. That video has gotten a lot of views, by the way. It's gotten almost 20,000 views, which is a lot for me. I guess I need to keep doing shorts, but I don't know. I kind of don't like that shorts exist, but I guess the YouTube algorithm really likes when you do them, so probably gonna keep doing those. Let me know if there's any other short little like tips or tricks or things that you would like to see in shorts that would make sense in that format. It's like it has to be 60 seconds or less. Let me know. Anyway, small tangent there. But I feel like it looks like I've made no progress on this, even though I did use it 15 times in April, and I have it kind of pressed in the middle of the pan there, so yeah, it's hard to see if I've really made any progress, but I know I have because I've used it a lot. Once again, I've noticed that when I repress something in a pan like this, the first month it looks like I make no progress, and then I'm sure by next month we'll see a lot more progress. I hope, anyway. It's an interesting shade of bronzer, but I actually really like it. It's kind of cooler toned than a lot of bronzers, which I appreciate, and it is definitely very sheeny, so I can't be too heavy-handed with it or else I look metallic, but I think it's pretty though. I like it a lot. Alright, so another Wet n Wild item is their Mega Liner in the shade Voltage Blue. I am wearing this today, and I have been enjoying this so much. I'm so glad I put this in my project pan because for the longest time it was just sitting in my drawer unused. Even though I love it, I just kept forgetting that I had it, forgetting to use it. But now that it's in my project pan, I've been using it regularly. I used it 6 times in April. My goal is 5 times, and also 6 times in March. So just gonna keep going with this. I have no idea. There's no way to measure the progress on this, so really just measuring my progress in number of uses, which I'm perfectly fine with. I do feel like it's maybe starting to run out, or at least dry out. At some point this year, I'll probably finish it and then, you know, move on, but Really enjoying that. It's such a pretty color of blue. It's not too like dark and navy blue, but it's also not too bright and like neon. It's very, I don't know, it's just a really beautiful shade of blue. Next we have my e.l.f. lip crayon in Tea Rose. I've mostly been using this as a cream blush, but I also do occasionally use it on my lips. It's just a little bit too cool and purpley for my lips most days. But I mean, look at that. There's really not a whole lot left. I have a feeling if I keep going at this rate, I should be done with this in the next 2 months, 2 to 3 months. So yeah, I just kind of want to keep that momentum going. I do have that on today, but I do feel like when I use it as a cream blush, it doesn't stay on very well. So normally I end up topping it with a powder blush. Today I have it topped with the CoverGirl Cheekers blush in Natural Twinkle. This is going well. This is super, super old, so I really do need to finish it. And finally, last but not least, we have the Dose of Colors lip gloss in the shade On Repeat. Beautiful nude gloss. I have that on today over the Jordana liner in Rock and Rose. I didn't end up using this month as many times as I did last month. Last month I used this 31 times, which is so crazy. But in April I only ended up using it 17 times. My goal was 20, so I didn't quite meet my goal, which is fine. I think this past month I was just trying to use other products in my collection that I hadn't used in a while. It's always tricky to find that balance between using your Project Pan items and then also not just letting the rest of your makeup rot in a drawer while you're trying to finish something else. I did still make a little bit of progress, and really, I mean, there's not that much left if you look at that. I mean, this is how much we have left. I do leave this sitting upright and I am able to see exactly where that line is when I hold it up to the window. So I haven't had to start like scraping at the sides yet or anything. I don't know, we'll see if I end up needing to remove the stopper. Sometimes I don't like doing that with lip gloss just because it gets so messy, but I don't know, I'm also curious to see how much longer this is going to take. So that's all the progress that I made on these products in April. I feel like I've made lots of great progress, especially, you know, having repressed that e.l.f. powder and removing the stopper from the liquid eyeshadow. I think I will have 2 empties next month, the Pacifica foundation and the e.l.f. powder. I really do think these will be done. I know I said that last month too, but I really think so. And all the rest of these, it's just like, you know, a very slow and steady process of finishing them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this Project Pan update. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I would love to see you again very soon. Hopefully I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.